Hey guys, how you doing? Just a little chat about competing for the first time since a number of my students and the kids are competing for the first time this weekend, and so there's lots of questions coming up about all sorts of things. So I thought I'd shed some light on, you know, competing and stuff. And I think for a first competition, I think your focus should be on the process. It takes quite a while to learn how to compete, and to find the right formula for your training and all those sorts of things, avoiding injury, eating well, making weight, dealing with the nerves and all these sorts of things. So I would use your first year of competing as not going out there even to try and win. I mean, yes, you're trying to do your best, but the emphasis I think shouldn't be on winning, which you're trying to do, but to try and find the right process for you, even as a kid. Yeah, like going into the stadium, thousands of people there. There's a lot of noise. It's very intense. It's very hot. It's very overwhelming. The whole experience is pretty insane for an adult. And you go out there, your whole mind goes blank. You forget everything. You don't even realize you're in a tournament until 20 seconds into it, and it's overwhelming for adults. So I can only imagine as a child what that's like. So I think that the focus is not on winning. The focus should be on like going through the process, like maybe a month long or 6 week long kind of training focus leading up to it and stuff like that. Eating well, not being obsessed with like dropping a lot of weight and stuff like that, but just eating well for performance. If you're a couple of 100 grams over a month out, well, just tidy up your diet a little bit, less fish and chips and KFC and stuff like that, which is good for you for a few weeks anyway, for if you're a kid, and just focus on like figuring out like what works for you. Like some people don't like to eat it all on the day. I know some people that can eat a big meal and then go fight. I'm certainly not like that. I can't eat. I would generally have two Tim Tams about 2 hours beforehand, and eat nothing for like 3 hours before. I don't like the sensation of having a full stomach when I fight. Some people, it doesn't bother them at all. So learning about these sorts of things as you go to each tournament, regardless of the result itself is almost always the result as accumulated by all the different processes involved and stepping out on the mat, like learning how to walk out onto the mat, have your game plan if you have one clear in your head, to be present, to be able to focus on your opponent, to be able to hear your coach clearly, to be able to understand what they're saying, and to be able to like make the right decisions at the time. Like all of that takes practice. And I think that it can take easily a year of like competing every 3 months or something like that to figure out like to get to the point where you're comfortable enough that you can perform well, and for some people it takes years of practice, so that would be my advice, is to use your first year of competing as just practice at competing, and don't even worry about the results too much. I mean, of course, do your best, try and improve things. I think the greatest thing about going to tournaments is that you're fighting people that you don't normally fight, from other schools with other styles, other moves, and you can videotape them all, and then you can go back to training the next week, and it gives you a plethora of things to work on, like holes that have been exposed in your own game, things you did really well, things you could do better, and stuff like that. I think that's the main benefit from a technical point of view. From an emotional point of view, the biggest benefit is learning to deal with stress. Most people doing jiu-jitsu, and certainly in my experience of teaching for like 25 years, by far, like more than 90%, more than 95% of my students have probably never been in a street fight. So they don't know, they wouldn't know how to deal with that kind of stress and that kind of anxiety. So dealing with pressure under duress is part of competing. So you're getting to willfully engage in combat, yeah, in a safe and controlled setting, with agreed rules and all that, and it's still really nerve-wracking. So once you can get over those nerves and learn how to process them, lose a match. If you're in a round robin tournament, then you lose a match, maybe two, and you can still go back into the third match, reset your mind, go, okay, right, this is a different match, different person, let's go, let's try and do my best. And even if you lose all your matches, it doesn't matter. What matters is how you react to all of it. Yeah, go home, yeah, make a list of the things that you could do better, things that you were really proud of, like a red list and a green list. I did this really well, this year I did really poorly. And then use that as the focus for getting better from now until the next tournament, whenever that is, say 3 months away or whatever it is. But generally you'll find that the kids and adults who compete more do better. And it's simply because they're getting used to competing and they get over those initial nerves. It can take 3, 4, 5 tournaments before you can actually look forward to the tournament without wanting to throw up, right? And that you can walk out there onto the mat and be present. Yeah, and that's quite a difficult thing to do, but it just takes practice. So anyway, for anybody thinking about competing, I think it's a great thing, and it's a really good idea to start, months before that in the academy, setting up like what I call super fights. So all the students are there and you pull out 2 people at a time. So they get used to fighting in front of, there's only the 2 of them on the mat, everybody else is cheering. You can kind of have a cheer squad for one person, a cheer squad for the other, divide the whole room into 2 teams and have the 2 teams kind of fight it out in super fights all night. And that way the kids kind of get used to, and adults get used to, the pressure of being out there in front of everybody and having the crowd and the cheering and all that sort of stuff and awarding points and winners and losers and all that sort of stuff. So they kind of get used to it in that environment before going to the tournament. That's kind of what we've been doing for months. And it's a part of our training anyway. So hopefully the kids do really well. Hopefully the adults do really well. But I'm not results focused with them. I'm process focused. And that's, I think, the best way to probably approach it. Anyway, have a great time. Enjoy your competitions. It's a lot of fun. Get used to the nerves. Compete frequently if you really want to. And just get used to the process. See you guys. Bye.